welcome back, everyone, to the Awful Takes Podcast special movie review episode.
Our first one of the year.
It is. And we're talking about Hoppers by Pixar.
And Daniel Chong.
It is a good movie.
Yeah. It's a great movie, honestly.
We're going to be talking about it in spoilers, so please check this movie out. I mean, word of mouth is pretty good right now. I know I hear a lot of people really enjoying it, which is cool. And it's nice to see Pixar with an original idea that seems to be attaching with people, because I know over the past couple of years,
Elio just didn't hit, unfortunately.
I know a lot of people see Turning Red as like a sleeper hit, that unfortunately during the time it came out.
That was unfortunate.
Was put to streaming.
Great movie.
I know I really enjoyed Onward.
I really liked Luca a lot.
And I like Soul. Soul was really good for me too.
Soul's good, yeah.
But unfortunately, a lot of those movies were in that pandemic era. So now this movie, for some reason, I guess, is just really working with people, which is cool to see.
Surprisingly.
And checking it out, it really feels like traditional Pixar, especially in a lot of the setup and everything. I was like, okay, doesn't really feel like they're doing anything, They're
not really changing the wheel, I guess you could say.
And I think that's why I liked it a lot, was it knew what it wanted to be, and it didn't really try to sacrifice it for anything. And in knowing what it wants to be, this movie went in places that I was not expecting.
Same. A lot of places I was not expecting. And it subverts a lot of different types of expectations too.
It does. And in that, it's so much fun, watching this. Because I'll be honest, from the trailers and everything, I wasn't necessarily like, oh, I need to see that. It looks so exciting. I was just like, yeah, I might check that out. I mean, who knows? Yeah. And then all of a sudden it comes out and people are telling me no, you really should go watch it. And I'm like, all right, I'll go check it out. And I really loved it. So
heck yeah, for sure, man.
This movie opens in an interesting way. It has this almost kind of setup similar, I would say, to Up, except they kind of spare the emotion.
It's a little bit more comedic. I love the little moment. I love at the beginning, she's trying to take all these pet animals, and she just keeps putting more and more in her backpack, and it's super heavy and everything. And it becomes this kind of high adrenaline rush of her trying to leave the school.
It sets up this attachment with her grandmother. The mother goes to drop her off after she gets in trouble at school for taking all these animals. Yeah. And you get this, emotional side with this grandma and everything. But I guess I will say I was glad that it wasn't super drawn out,
Yeah. Surprisingly, no. Yeah.
When they kind of jumped to the future and the grandma had already passed on, and they didn't really make a big emotion of it, which I'll be honest, I didn't necessarily need it. Especially in terms of the story. And plus they have a callback later on in the movie to where I was like, all right, that emotional beat was perfect. I really felt like if they would have bared down on the emotion in the beginning, it maybe would have reminded me a little bit too much of them trying to get the emotion,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But honestly, with what they did in the beginning was enough, because I was like, wow, that's pretty sad. And it sets up the stakes of her protecting this
nature reserve. Yeah. And that was such a great moment. I love the little moment before it gets to the montage. I like when it's just her as a young kid, and it's her grandma, and she's all just listen to the stuff around you. Yeah. Really great sound design, by the way. That was just such an incredible quiet moment that honestly got me kind of teary-eyed. I was like, okay, damn, you're already getting the emotions out of me, and it's only the first 10 minutes of the movie.
And I like in this movie the whole setup of, it's simple. She needs a beaver to come back to the reserve, because this reserve is basically going to get built this new highway on by this mayor. Yeah,
Mayor Jerry. Really funny.
And they need... The girl needs a beaver to come back and build a dam, so that way all the other animals can come back. And it's just a super simple setup. And it's just very much all right, the setup, now just the movie goes, you know?
Yeah. It really is just kind of all killer, no filler. Like I was kind of shocked. Like it was already like, I was shocked it was like an hour, 40 minutes because it really just flies by.
It does.
You really don't feel the runtime at like any point in this movie. And I was surprised how like established everything was for the most part. Like you can see like, obviously like the back and forth banter between her and this mayor was really funny.
It's perfect.
Or even just like the moments of her like trying to like get signatures for the place was really funny.
That was funny.
And then even just the way they set up this whole like high concept of like hopping and everything was like really well done. I really loved how they not only set it up, but I love how they explain it to you just enough to give you enough to like understand like the concept, but it doesn't feel like too complex or too like, wait, what? How does this hopping thing work again?
It feels more like, especially with the whole setup of hopping and everything, felt very sci-fi B-movie-ish. And I feel like they did it a lot. The sci-fi in this is done really well. Honestly, a lot better than something like Lightyear, you know?
Yeah.
It's simple to understand, yet there's a lot of implications for it. And honestly, when they introduced what hopping is and everything, and you see her doing it and you see these other people working in this lab doing it. I thought that was the extent of what we were going to see with this idea of you put your body and mind into, or you put your mind into an animal.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty straightforward and everything. Yet the movie takes that thing and they go pretty far,
really far with it, which I really loved that aspect so much. And I loved how quickly established too, like the relationship between like this scientist and Mabel was. Yeah, that was really awesome too. And it was like a nice just way of like, oh, she's just taking like a college class basically.
And she's very passionate about it, you know, which is cool. Yeah. I like how it shows like the teacher is passionate as well, but you know, she's kind of worked her way through the system of there's a right way to do it, you know?
Yeah. She's more like the rebellious way of like doing it. She's had this like punk attitude that I like really love. And I really love like after she hops, you see this like first POV of like her as like the animal. That was really awesome.
So cool.
And I love the little like escape that she's trying to do. Again, very high adrenaline rush and really just kind of like kept me on the edge of my seat.
I like her running through the forest for the first time.
Yeah. It's kind of scary. Yeah. Honestly. And I like that she kind of tries to do the same things that she was doing as a human of like getting like animals to convince them to come back. And none of them are like wanting to come back. She's all, can I have like 10 seconds of your time? Can I have like maybe 5 seconds of your time?
Yeah.
And I love right away, I love this whole King George beaver. Is he's played by Bobby Moynihan, who's really funny in the movie. And it was a cool like little callback thing because Bobby Moynihan is in Daniel Chong's show, actually, We Bear Bears.
Okay.
He voices the panda character in that show. So it was a cool, like really cool full circle moment for me. That
is cool.
Personally. So, but I love right away, I was kind of thinking what they were going to do with this like beaver king character was like that he was just going to be this like kind of douchey, kind of like jerk kind of character. I love that they didn't do that. And he was like this like very wholesome, like very sweet, like caring king, which I wasn't expecting, considering like obviously they showcase the council and it's like they're the opposite of that basically. That was really fantastic, and I loved the relationship between King George and Mabel throughout the film. And I like
I like the whole setup of his character. It really feels like a subversion of the whole time they're kind of building up. I like his reveal of like, who's this leader, you know? And that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, what animal is it going to be? And then it's obviously this beaver. And then throughout the rest of it, it makes sense. It's like, okay, I kind of get why this guy was in charge and everything. And it's funny at the time when you're watching him show this whole land and everything, there's visual nods to it. And it didn't really occur to me at the time that this place is kind of overpopulated. You know?
I know. I wasn't expecting that either.
Watching it back again, it's like, he's stuffing these mice into like this tree, and it's like, oh yeah, clearly there's too many of them, you know? Which I thought was great. And then obviously it sets up what was going on at the old reserve where her and her grandma were. They put like these sound things up, which was really funny.
And only the animals can hear it. It's like a dog whistle type of thing, which was really like a funny play on that. And I love that like she ends up like destroying like this like tower tree, and then they just end up putting like 5 more tower trees.
Yeah.
It's like, oh damn, okay, it's a much more of a challenge than it is now, you know.
And the whole introduction of all these other leaders of these different sections.
I didn't think they were going to show them, actually, honestly. I was like, you mentioned the council. It's like, oh, what is it? Just like other beavers or something,
That's what I thought too.
So when they show like all these other like animals, they show like snakes and like a monarch, and they show fish. Like fish. That was really funny.
That was funny. There's that's where the movie started surprising me a lot.
Really,
the introduction of this council and everything. I was just like, okay, like this feels really different than something I feel like Pixar would normally do.
I love like this whole council is like really kind of where the film actually starts, and you get like the real villain of the movie.
And she proposes this idea, Mabel does, of getting rid of she accidentally kind of says of getting rid of the
Mayor Jerry. Yeah.
And these animals take it as like, oh, okay,
we gotta squish him.
And I was just like, wow, okay, this is interesting. And then obviously it was crazy watching this movie. This had such a huge reaction out of everyone. Like the loudest reaction I've heard in a movie theater in a long time.
Here.
Was Mabel squishing this queen, this leader,
the queen butterfly. Yeah.
She just is the queen's like pestering her and everything, and she basically on instinct just squishes her. Yeah. The whole theater like erupted in confusion, but and also laughter of just like, what the heck just happened?
That was literally my whole reaction with that sequence.
And it's so funny because it's like, she's a bug, and here everyone is in the audience having this big reaction. It's almost like something you wouldn't normally see in like a Pixar movie, and it's just like, oh wow, what the heck?
That got kind of dark quickly.
Yeah, it got really dark, and it's followed up even funnier. It's just her rubbing her hands on like the sand behind her. That whole time the theater
so
was just
awkward, and it's so funny.
Crazy.
Yeah, honestly. And what makes it funnier too is like, obviously King George is like the opposite of Mabel, where he's much more like reserved, and he's more like, no, let's just do this like the right way. Let's do it more like, like a more calming way. Whereas like Mabel is like this kind of rebel. She's obviously using her rebel side to showcase like, we got to get rid of this mayor and everything. And it's obviously they kind of see it as like, oh, we got to kill this guy. Basically, it's like, oh, that kind of ends up getting used against her. Exactly. That was crazy.
And they basically send off these predators to get her and the king and everything. And
that whole chase sequence was insane.
That I wouldn't think of, like all these snakes and everything. I'm just like, oh my God, like this movie just totally changed, And then at one point, all these birds are lifting up this shark out of the ocean. And I'm just like, this is insane. This whole movie is just like blowing my mind. And it's just going in a direction that I just was not thinking. And it just totally surprised me. And they're trying to kill the mayor because he is gonna
build this highway basically.
And it's gonna destroy this part of the land.
Well, what makes it more absurd and hilarious is like, it's just like one
it's one little
part of the highway, which makes it even more hilarious to me.
It is hilarious. And I like the whole reveal of the communication of, all right, now Mabel this whole time has been trying to stop this mayor. Now they literally have to save him from getting killed. So they sneak into the car. They start communicating to him through this phone,
text,
and it's so funny hearing her text and everything. And his reaction is just hilarious.
Log, beaver.
And then it just goes into a crazy direction, like I mentioned with the shark and everything. They're literally going to crash this shark into his car while he's driving.
They bring it through like a tunnel too, which blew my mind.
And it's so funny, like they're going to this big moment of this city. It's so funny, this mayor is seen as like this rock star almost. He's like this savior guy.
Yeah, which is really funny. He's like looking himself up on his laptop.
Yeah. It's so funny. And he's going to this reveal of this last part of the highway. It's like this big moment, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, they have lights and everything. Like he's this celebrity, lasers, and this big show. And
I know.
everything.
That was awesome.
What is this? And then the movie did something that I was just not expecting. And this just made me love it even more. And from the moment, the idea, like I mentioned with this whole hopping technology, my mind never once thought this movie was going to go there. And it was just such a great
Neither
subversion.
did I. And I was like, holy cow. I did not even think about that.
They capture every Mabel and all of them and the scientists and everything. And the son of the butterfly who was killed is now assuming the ruler role. He's now the king or whatever of this section.
Yeah.
And he's going to hop, but not into
an animal.
It's into this synthetic robot human that is Jerry, and he's going to assume the role. And I swear, when I saw that and you see this robotic Jerry, my mind was blown, and I was just like, what is this movie and how did they do this? This is insane.
Yeah, my jaw was on the floor. Yeah. I was like, that's kind of terrifying.
Heck? And it's so funny. And I think they get Dave Franco to voice the robot. Franco.
I didn't know that was Dave Franco until like the credits. And I was like, yeah, his voice acting is so funny.
It was so funny.
It's so over the top too. And he's just like the over the top villain in like the best way possible.
It's perfect.
And that's where I was like, oh, okay. So he's the actual villain of this movie. Cause honestly, for like most of the movie, I was like, okay, it's this mayor villain. Like, it's like he wants to build this highway and everything. That's what I thought they were kind of going for.
Yeah.
And then when they reveal it's like, oh, it's this butterfly villain who's now going to like disguise himself as Jerry. I was like, that's perfect. I love that. Is like a great villain subversion. I was just not expecting at all.
And there's a great funny moment too of the mayor has to hop into one of the beavers.
Yeah, and I like that they give him a different design. That was so really awesome. That was so funny too. Yeah,
it was perfect. And yeah, this whole climax happens. It's just amazing.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it just plays out in just a great way. Like I thought it was so funny. Like she goes to challenge him on stage. And he's like, you killed my mom. Or she's like, even if I killed your mom. And the crowd just like, wait, what?
And you see the mom's reaction at home too. It's so even more funny.
It's like a perfect blend of like kids who love animated movies, but also kids who grew up watching Pixar movies, and maybe their humor is a little bit more darker now, or maybe just, slight hints of it.
Their two worlds are coming together, honestly.
And this was like the perfect movie of grown-ups, taking their kids who grew up with Pixar, they were around, like we mentioned, watching Toy Story, Bug's Life growing up, and they're taking their kids to see a Pixar movie that it appeals to both of them, like seeing this movie really go for a lot of these dark humor moments. Granted, it's not the most dark, but like I mentioned,
but it's still a surprise and it still kind of catches you off guard. At least it did for me.
I never would have guessed that seeing it in like an older Pixar movie, you would see like a main character say like, yeah, even if I killed your mom, I didn't mean to. And it's just like,
and you just see the audience's reaction, which is even more hilarious.
It's so funny. And there's just moments like that of just like, wow, I'm so glad that this director got the okay to go through with this story. And that the studio didn't feel the need to take any of this stuff out, because honestly, I was kind of surprised that
they kept it in, honestly.
Stayed in.
Or even just like the moment where like they have this whole wildfire sequence was like something I wasn't even expecting. And it makes the climax even more like kind of like intense and kind of edge of your seat, honestly. I think the moment that got to me, honestly, was like when Mabel's trying to like obviously get rid of like all the fires with her jacket and everything. And her jacket ends up accidentally burning, and it's like, oh, this is like her kind of only memory left of her grandma. That was honestly really sad.
Yeah. There's great emotional parts later on in the movie that I felt like make up for the beginning. Obviously they kind of jump over the grandma's death and everything. But in the finale and everything, there's a lot of good callbacks to it, you know, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, that was really awesome. And I love like the mayor and Mabel kind of have this like kind of compromise near the end. Like they end up kind of like coming to terms of like, okay, we'll get the highway made, but we got to have like at least a reserve or something for this natural,
and there's
like nature area.
There's like a good, you know, respect they have for each other. You know, I kind of like how when they're lifting the thing at the end, they kind of go back into what they were doing and stuff. But yeah, it's like a nice kind of heartwarming moment of like, you know, they both went through this situation together, you know. Now that they're on the other side of it, they have respect for each other.
Yeah, and that was awesome. Really cool. And I was not expecting the movie at all to go for that, you know. And I love the moment like at the end where it's just Mabel and like obviously King George, but she can't really like understand him now because obviously she's not hopped anymore. But it was really cool to just hear like the little King George just you doing the log thing. That was like a really funny, like emotional, like heartwarming moment for me. And I think that's kind of it, honestly. Like the end, like just the whole movie is just really nonstop from start to finish.
It's a big surprise. Big surprise. Like I mentioned, I wasn't really expecting much with this movie, and I left really happy that I saw it. Yeah, and really happy that Pixar, like I mentioned, just kind of took a risk in my opinion. You know, doing a lot of the stuff they did in this movie. I'm just like, this doesn't feel like Pixar, yet it kind of does. You know?
It's a mix of two. It feels like a mix of Pixar and then a mix of like Daniel Chong style that he has in like We Bare Bears. Cause for me, like I've kind of grown up watching We Bare Bears. Like that was such a big show for me. It's still one of my favorite shows. And it's like, it has a lot of like that kind of style of humor, like where it's just, it gets kind of intense and kind of goofy, action heavy, but also it has a lot of those quieter slice of life moments that make me really love the show. So
it's amazing.
It's really amazing to see Daniel Chong like really expand a lot of his ideas that he was doing with We Bare Bears into like a different kind of like original idea for a movie. You know, it was really awesome to see that.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, please just go check it out. Go to the theater, watch it.
Yeah, go check it out. Seriously, it's absolutely worth your time.
It's totally worth it. Yeah. Pixar really started off the year really great. And so far, this is one of the biggest surprises, and I probably is going to end up being one of the bigger surprises for me this year in terms of movies, you know?
Perfect. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it was really great. I was not expecting it.
Yeah. I think I would say maybe my only complaint I could really think of is I did maybe want a few more scenes of like Mabel, like around the nature stuff and everything. At least just like when she started first hopping, I would have liked to see maybe a couple more scenes with like her and George before we got to kind of the more like council moment. Yeah. But that's really the only complaint I could really think of.
It would have been nice. There are some moments in here where it does feel a little quick and it feels like they jump over some stuff kind of fast. Yeah. It's not like they don't have payoffs or anything, but one of the things I would have liked is maybe more, kind of moments like that of her experiencing the technology for the first time, you know, because it was so well done, you know?
Yeah. Especially because it's just like, it's her first time doing it too. And it's like, I can't even imagine being in like an animal robot body. Yeah. Like that's crazy.
And she's in it for like days. And I'm like, how does this whole thing work?
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. And I love like when you see the scientists also hopping too, like you have like the lady scientist, she's like a rabbit. And then you have the guy scientist. He's like like this bird. Yeah, that was really funny too. That was funny. But yeah, overall, I mean, this is such an amazing movie. I kind of right away when I saw the teaser, I was like, I knew I was kind of in for something kind of trippy and something just like kind of insane. So yeah, I'm glad to see it just pay off. And man, I had such a great time with this. This really is easily like one of my favorite. It's kind of up there with some of my favorite Pixar films at this point, honestly. Like this really just has so many great, hilarious moments, great action-packed moments, great characters too. Like I loved honestly all of the characters in this movie. Like all of them had their moments and all of them were so memorable. Mm-hmm. I think score-wise for me, I think I'm honestly at like a 9 out of 10, honestly for me.
Yeah, I think I'm at a 9 out of 10 as well because this movie just surprised me in every way. There are some things that I wish could have been better. Also, one of the things I would like to mention is maybe some of the character designs could have been just a little bit better. I felt like animation wise, this movie's so different and everything. Yeah. I would have liked to maybe a bit more different look
with like the humans or animals.
I would say with maybe a little bit of both. Okay. I felt like, but granted, by the end of it, they all serve their purpose and everything. And, you know, by no means is this movie lesser than because of that. I just would have liked it, you know, just sure. With where this story goes and everything and how different it feels.
Give animation. It like a more distinct feel.
Yeah. But cool. Overall, really good. Check it out if you guys haven't seen it.
Yeah, hop to the theaters to see it. Just kidding. No, good day and good night, mates.
We'll see you on the next one.